So connectivism is a digital theory of learning. And when I was sharing this with my colleagues, I was telling them connectivism is already a past tense theory of learning. Yet it's very important because like I was saying, majority of trainers today cannot use laptops, cannot use computers, cannot use smartphones. Smartphones are hard to be used by a majority of trainers today. Yet, the children we are giving birth to, the children we are teaching in those classrooms today are so good in those things. How do you connect with them? You need to understand the relevance of these items, these components. Today, it is easier for learners to connect with you and read notes you have printed than the notes you have handwritten. And last time I said there are some supervisors who still insist that staff members, that trainers should prepare their manual records, should write schemes of work using their hand. It should be handwritten, notes, handwritten, records of work, handwritten in this era. Sir or madam, however much you are bossy, you are a supervisor, let me remind you, the trainees we are handling today, the students we are handling today are not with you. You are alone. So I don't know who you are fighting with. I mean, fighting for. Because yes, you are fighting with the trainers. But for who? Because the trainees that we are handling today want those laptops. They want those phones. The question we should be asking ourselves today is, how do we incorporate those phones, those laptops into our current generation? If we are not able to incorporate, then there is nothing we are doing. So when we talk about connectivism, we don't also mean that the phone will come to replace the educator or the trainer. The mobile phone, the laptop, the tablet can never replace a trainer. But a trainer can use it as a gadget, as a method to help the learners to learn, to make the class interesting. And I was giving example when I was teaching in Taita Taveta, a school called Buguta. And I would prepare my classes and go do very good games on computers, and I would allow my students to go in the computer lab and just sit and play that game. And I remember in some cases where there is need for to learn on how to balance equations and how to equations that deal with balancing, like in chemistry, in mathematics, in business studies, and they would add those figures slowly by slowly until it balances, and they would feel so good, especially on computer, and the learning becomes so interesting. They understand the concept. So connectivism is a very important theory of learning that we need to all focus on. And under connectivism, we can apply it in learning by bringing all the educational technology into the classroom. Do not assume any. Bring all the educational technology. I remember when I was studying in the University of Nairobi, we had a whole unit of education technology, and we were taught so much about education technology, things that most institutions do not practice. It's important now to learn to practice that. Then teach students how and where to find quality information. I am training in a college right now, a tertiary college, handling students who leave high school and who may not have scored the right grades to go to university. And some of the questions I ask in my classes right now, some students are not able to answer. For example, I asked them, who is the father of Microsoft? And they wondered, what are you asking? I asked, and who owns Facebook? They wondered. But all of them are on Facebook. All of them are using Microsoft, but they don't know who started Microsoft. Do you know the reason? We have denied our students focus on research. We show them what we know. We don't show them what they need to know. That is where the problem is. A teacher goes in class, he or she has been teaching for 20 years, gives the same examples they have been giving since they started teaching in the year 1990, whatever. The same example. If it is 1 plus 5, it is 1 plus 5 every year. No difference. 1 plus 5 every year. Allow students to study and learn new things. Connectivism is all about assuming what is obvious, bringing on board what is not known, what is important, what is required. That's why we'll always give our students practicals of counting wings of a butterfly, wings of a grasshopper, legs of a grasshopper. Surely. Until when? Why can't we know the diodes in... When will we know the diodes in a laptop? When will we know the path taken by this voice, this video, from where I am to where you are? When will we learn that? We have coiled ourselves into in fact, it's a robotic style of learning. Most of us are using robotic styles of learning. We are not open-minded. We have fixed our brains. Connectivism will help you. It's a good one. So you teach students where to find quality information. Teach them how to conduct research, solid research. Teach them how to be critical in terms of research and writing down the all academic research work. Very important. It will help them. The last one is supplemental learning theories. Not one. I want to talk about a number. And when we talk about supplemental learning theories, we simply refer to the many additional theories that educators may not have ever thought about, but they are interesting and they are good for exploration. It's good to explore them. One of them is called andragogy. Andragogy. Whereas pedagogy deals with giving us skills on how to teach young adults, young children, up to the age of adulthood. Andragogy is when you get skills on how to teach adults, adult learning. When you talk about adult learning, adult education, we refer to andragogy. The methods of teaching adults are known as andragogy. Pedagogy are methods of teaching education or education for children. So, whereas pedagogy is really much involved in classroom affairs, giving activities, giving directions in class, andragogy is more heavily on self-direction, where we tell students to lead themselves. We ask them to do what they think can help them to acquire what they want. We just tell them what they need to acquire and how to acquire it, and then they choose how to do it. In my class yesterday, I was teaching about balance sheet. I gave them the 3 types of balance sheets, and I told them, kindly study the one you feel is more comfortable with you. When I ask it in an exam, I want you to give me the one you feel it's more comfortable. I don't ask them using the T format, prepare a balance sheet. I ask them to prepare a balance sheet. Whichever way they will prepare it, as long as they have followed the right format. Because the objective here is for them to know how to prepare a balance sheet, not to remember the format of a balance sheet. Then, there is also another one called learning as a network. Learn, L-A-A-N, learning as a network theory. In this theory, this is a theory that came on board in 2012. There is a study that was done in 2012, and it was defined as the new learning theory characterized by the convergence of KM to represent knowledge management, and TEL to represent technology enhanced learning, technology enhanced learning within a learner-centered knowledge environment, a learner-centric knowledge environment. As you can see, this is more of digital, but it's higher than digital, because in digital, the presenter, the trainer, controls everything. But in this one, the learner is the one who controls. It is centered on the learner. Show the learner how to do it. Let the learner use the gadgets to learn. Thank you.